Hey guys, welcome back to Madison Bell. Today we're going to be training with my personal dog, Saber. This is going to be her third session doing some protection work, and we're going to get her out. Today we're going to be doing send-offs with her. Yesterday we were holding the leash and we're letting her come up and get a good grip. We're trying to get her prepared for my decoy trainer, Chris Peterson. So we're going to start pushing her out more, asking more from her. She's a man's dog. And I love her to death, so we're gonna go ahead and start moving her to the next phase. You guys stay tuned and watch me walk my Belgian Malinois and see how hard she hits. You guys be good. And then I'm gonna come back, and when I come back, I'm gonna say ready and you let her go. All right. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Rodriguez Carter, and I'm the head trainer for Madison Bell K9. And one thing I specialize in is protection dogs. My experience goes back from being a police officer at the State Department, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, being a U.S. veteran with the Marine Corps and the Army. So my specialty comes in dealing with working dogs. And today we're going to be talking about my working dog, Athena, aka Saber, and she's in her second phase of doing some protection work, and we're getting her worked up as we speak. So you guys stay tuned and watch us do this training with Saber, and I'm going to do a play-by-play while we're doing the training and talk a little about me and Saber in this process, aka Athena. A little bit about Athena. She's a Belgian Malinois, and a friend who has Belgian Malinois that are imported from Holland. Their lines come from Holland. She's a very, very dog. She's a dog, all right? And when I say the term dog, you're thinking, oh yeah, of course she's a dog. No, when we say dog, we're talking about a go-getter, a hitter, a monster, a alligator, right? She doesn't have skittish behavior. She's not scared of gunshots. She's not scared of other dogs. She's not fearful about different situations. She's very alert, right? She's not scared of thunderstorms. If someone was to come in, it could be a bad situation for her, right? Or for that person, if someone was to come into the house. So when we talk about dogs, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about your pet dog. We're talking about real dogs. So when taking her in, I had to assess, if she's gonna be a protection dog, I don't need to spend a lot of time building her confidence. Then if you go and you look at her pedigree, you see all the dogs that are listed in that pedigree have won titles. They've done sport competition. They work for law enforcement agencies. They work for Homeland Security. They do a lot of these things. So it was extremely important for me to get a dog that already had the capability to withstand the pressure to do the work. Now that I have her, I normally don't do many videos about me and my personal dogs. I want to do videos about clients' dogs. So today, seeing this day after Christmas, I was doing some work with her, and I said, let's do some videos. Let's talk about what a dog is. Let's talk about what you're looking for when you start talking about home protection dogs. Versus, it's not really when you once you understand, you're really never going to be able to buy a home protection dog out of someone's backyard that was randomly bred with two dogs where no one knows what the genetics are. and you really have to travel. You really have to find a breeder that specializes in that to get exactly what you're paying for, because getting the dog is one part, getting the trainer is the next part, and then actually getting the right dog to do the work is the third part. So when those three things collide, you have the right dog for what you're trying to do. A lot of people just get a random dog, take it to a random trainer, and then the outcome is, it's not what they expected. So, you know, she is one of the few Belgian Malinois I had. I really love her color. I love her hunt drive. I love her bite. I can barely get my arm out of the sleeve when she's biting. I'm getting her ready for the next level to flip the switch and have my decoy trainer, Chris Peterson, come in and start working her and make her, fulfill the whole dog. Right now we're working on bite development, just getting that good bite from her, getting a good grip, a good hold, a good hunt, a good chase. We're just working those things so when Chris steps in, she's not scared to engage and deal with the decoy. So that's one of the things that we're working on now. I'm really, really impressed with her ability to hit that sleeve hard and hold on and fight through it. I trained her other sister, Sage. She's a monster as well. And there's very few people who specialize with protection dogs. A lot of people claim to and may have equipment, but they really don't deal with it. I think I've trained probably well over 200 protection dogs in the last year. I love it. That's my specialty. I don't mind doing obedience. I do obedience, and it's not a thing to it. But if the dog is really weak, or shall I say a cat, then I really don't have that attention focus, because I can't add pressure, right? Pressure would mean having a agitation stick. As soon as they hear the stick, they run off, and it's hard to build that type of stuff. That's more genetic. The dog is built, their nerves are built to stand that stuff, and if they're not born with the genetics, they're not going to get it in. So I know a lot of people are thinking about getting Belgian Malinois and training them for protection. They're excellent protection dogs. Some like kids, some don't. Some have extreme drive, depending on what part of Europe they're from. From the age of, say, 8 weeks until 24 to 36 months, they could be a handful, right? So you really need to get a trainer that knows about the genetics of Belgian Malinois. Belgian Malinois are very sensitive dogs. You know, anything can set them off. They're correction biters like Dobermans. They'll correct you if you put too much pressure on them. So you really need to get a stable one, right? And then they're very, very destructive. They can tear up a lot of things if you don't keep them confined and supervised. So this is things to think about. I mean, taking them for a walk for 2 miles ain't gonna get it done. They need something more stimulating. They need to be able to stimulate their mind, searching for something, biting something, doing agility. Those are more stimulating things. Just walking around a block and pulling you around, trying to smell everything, isn't stimulating. It is, but it isn't the kind what you think, right? They have to have a job. So getting one of these Belgian Malinois, and you've got like 6 little children, and you work long hours, it's probably going to end up being a bad situation, right? You really need to have time set alone for these dogs. You really need to educate your kids about them. It can turn out to be a bad situation if you are, YouTubing it and you're not really getting the whole full scope of these dogs. So, so again, just I encourage everyone to do a lot of research before buying a Belgian Malinois. Know what you're going to do with the dog. Know about the dog's genetics. Know about the dog's dietary situation as far as what they're going to eat. Know how you're going to train and play with them. Have a trainer set up. Have a whole bunch of things. If you don't have a plan, you're just walking into a situation and it's going to be bad. And these dogs are kind of like tattoos, Once they have an owner, they tattoo to that owner. You can't just rehome them like a lab, because they love their original owner, and you're just a stand-in, and you may not get as much loyalty as the original owner. So it's another thing to be aware of. But again, this is Athena. We're working through a lot. We just started doing the protection with her. She's doing her obedience at the same time, side by side. I love what I'm seeing. I love the aggression. I love the hit. I love the hold. I love the frustration right before the bite. I love everything about it. So when she bites me, my arm gets stuck in the sleeve. I can't just slip it out. I have full-hearted, I know once we finish her, if you were to break into my house, it would be the last house you broke into. So again, these are great dogs. And here at Madison Bell, we don't get ready, we stay ready, right? And when I say that, what I mean is that I'm not gonna get my house broken into and then go run out and buy a protection dog. That's just not gonna be that situation, right? Um, it's better to have it and not need it and not have it, right? So there's gonna be a protection dog in my home, and if you break in, we're not getting ready, we're already ready. That's what we mean. So she's already gonna be there to meet you at the front door or the window, wherever you're coming into. So, to me, my family is the highest prized possession that I have. And, versus spending $10,000 on a car and drive around in, I'll put $10,000 of protection work in her so that I can always have my family here. Because if someone takes your family out, then you're stuck with the car and you have to look at your priorities. What is more important, your family or the car? So that's just how I think. A lot of people, I'm not saying you have to think that way. A lot of people have a false sense of security and they think that they're never going to have, nothing's ever going to happen to them, or no one's ever going to try them, or they don't need that. And then when it happens, then we get that phone call that, hey, I need a protection dog. Y'all sell protection dogs right now? So we don't do that. We don't just hop out and sell protection dogs. You have to have an education level of what dogs are, how to work with those dogs, how to keep their impulses under control. Because a lot of protection dogs have high prey drive. That's little kids, that's cats, that's small dogs. You have to have that dog fully under control. And if your only knowledge is about dog is buying pedigree dog food, then yeah, you're not getting a dog from us for that circumstance, because nobody should be feeding their dogs pedigree anyway. So again, you know, this is my dog. I don't really show my personal dogs that much, and she's one of my new dogs. So I'm showing you right now that the beginning phase had to be me getting a dog, getting something that is a go-getter or hitter, that's not scared of anything. And then we start the progression of her pedigree, her genetics, and then we move on to her stamina, her endurance, and then we look forward to her fear, what fear she has, and then we travel into the training. And when you get the right dog and you have the right trainer, you're gonna get the right outcome. So again, one thing I encourage people to do, if you're looking for protection dog trainers and they don't have protection dog equipment, just keep looking, right? Because one of the main focus of training a protection dog is you need to know how to use the equipment. If you don't know how to use equipment, how can you train a protection dog? That's number two. Look at their background experience. Talk to other owners that have got their dogs trained with them. Fill them out, find out a lot about them, because how they start training that dog is going to equivalent how that dog is going to react in public, around other people, around strangers and friends. Okay, so you need to know it's not something they're learning as they go, but they already have done this for a while, or they're working with someone else that knows about protection dogs. So again, this is Athena. This is Pepsi. He is my personal cat, and he saw us training, so he wants to come out here and hang out with me. Yes, I got cats. So he's my personal cat. He wanted to be in the video, so he says, Daddy, how you gonna train with a dog and not train with me today? So I'm just cleaning them off. But again, think about getting a Belgian Malinois. Think about some of the stuff you're gonna have to invest. A lot of my Belgian Malinois owners that have come to me and trained with me that have the perfect dog, they've spent a lot of money. It wasn't $500. No one's spending $500 to get their dogs trained. It's upwards in the thousands of dollars. So you're gonna hit that number no matter how many trainers you go to. You're gonna be in the thousands. So if you can't afford that, you shouldn't get that dog, right? Now they have pet Belgian Malinois, pet dogs. They don't do protection work. They don't have any kind of super genetics, and those are the dogs you should be looking for if you're looking for a Belgian Malinois and you don't plan on doing protection work. At least they'll still bark at strangers, they'll still guard, those type of things, and people won't know if they're a protection dog or not. So if you don't have the money to be in that price range, then get you a pet dog one that still shows guardian instincts, and it can at least give because most bad guys will go away from the home that has a big dog versus one with a small dog. So you could look into that as well. Pet dogs, you shouldn't get a pet dog and then try to put them in working dog work. It could go wrong. So if you can't afford a $5,000 dog for a protection and then get it trained for another 10 grand, then look at getting a pet dog. Look at getting a pet dog that you can do that with. and that'll be feasible for you and with your lifestyle and what you're trying to do. So again, this is my cat, which is Pepsi, and you just saw my dog, which is Athena, which is a Belgian Malinois. And like, again, I don't post my personal dog too much, but I thought I would post. She's doing well with training. I'm proud of her. And just like the owners that bring their dogs to me to get trained, and we post videos in their portal and all that stuff. And on our page, I wanted to post videos of her because it was important to me for her to get trained and be ready to step in and step the fold over my other 6 protection dogs, and it's her time to step up. So if you guys are interested in protection dog training, or you need to learn something or ask a question, they're free. Yeah, I don't charge for that. You can message us direct. We can tell you what we know, and well, first thing we're going to ask you is about the genetics of the dog, and then we're going to test the dog. And if the dog doesn't have the right genetics, we're not going to mess with it. But we will give you our best advice about the dog and what you can do or who you need to see to get that type of dog, and what you're looking at in price range. So I'm Rodriguez Carter. This is Madison Bell. You guys be good. See you soon.
You